Thank you for watching This Is Now. Today we start in Taiwan, where emergency workers are looking for dozens of people who are still missing after the island was hit by the strongest earthquake of this century. Now, at least 10 people were killed and serious damage is reported all over Taiwan. Ian Lee has more.
Just say that Jacob was a very good, exceptional human being.
The parents of Jacob Flickinger say the 33-year-old new father was hesitant to go to Gaza, but told CBS News as a military veteran he loved serving with World Central Kitchen.
It combined his passion for service and his skills as he developed in serving in the military.
Flickinger, a dual U.S.-Canadian citizen, was one of 7 humanitarian workers with World Central Kitchen killed Monday in strikes Israel's military calls a grave mistake.
If it was a terrible mistake, then the Israeli military is extremely incompetent.
I don't think we're an unfortunate mistake. It was really a direct attack on a clearly marked vehicle.
World Central Kitchen founder Jose Andres says he doesn't believe the strikes on the 3-vehicle convoy were a mistake, pointing out his organization had coordinated its movements with Israel's military. He became emotional talking about the killed workers, including Zomi Francom.
Some of the people that died were my friends. Tommy is the nicest angel you will ever meet.
The charity organization is now demanding an independent investigation into the tragic incident. The White House has also called for a swift investigation, but said the U.S. does not plan to conduct its own probe, leaving Israel to investigate itself. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke for the first time today since Monday's deadly airstrike in Gaza that killed 6 workers with the food charity World Central Kitchen. The incident has sparked outrage in the U.S. and around the globe. Natalie Brand has the latest.
Commuters were traveling to work when the 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck Taiwan Wednesday. Boulders came crashing down the mountain, hitting one car and nearly avoiding another. Rescue crews now search for survivors. Over 1,000 have been injured, while more than 100 are still missing, many among the island's mountains. Up a remote valley, a drone discovered these miners stuck on a cliff. Landslides wiped out all the roads. But the epicenter witnessed the most severe damage. CBS's partner, the BBC, is on the ground.
This building is one of them that partially collapsed during yesterday's quake. You can see it's leaning over at a very precarious angle. They're worried that an aftershock could bring the whole building down, so they are reinforcing the base there to stabilize it while operations to go inside and search the building carry on.
The tremor struck as children started their school day. American Kevin Geiger's 8-year-old daughter was in class.
The teacher said, go under the table, go under the table.
So when the earth started shaking, did you know exactly what to do?
Because we had the orange, the hat in our desk, so we took it out and put it on our head.
I was really happy that she was, like she said, being calm and not freaking out, right?
Important not to freak out, right, Claire?
Yeah.
Claire is a brave little girl, and this morning Taiwan is still experiencing more aftershocks. Claire told me she's not scared because her school taught her what to do. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Here at home, an alleged gunman was arrested for a shooting on Tuesday night in Moiliili. Police Police took Jeremiah Moiliili into custody around noon yesterday in Waimanalo. HPD says the 40-year-old opened fire after he was kicked out of his ex-girlfriend's apartment at the Kapi'olani Banyan around 10 Tuesday night. Moiliili allegedly shot a 57-year-old man in the stomach after he swung a bat at Moiliili. Police say Moiliili then took the bat and struck the man in the head and shot at a witness but missed. He then shoved a 60-year-old woman to the ground as she tried to intervene.
I just saw like 4 or 5 guys running after the young man. They started hitting him. Then when he got up to fight back, that's when the pop went off. And then one more pop and he fell.
The wounded man remains hospitalized in critical condition. Do you recognize this man? Honolulu police say he struck an elderly man on Queen Street last week Tuesday at around 2:30 p.m. The victim suffered serious injuries, and the suspect allegedly fled in a charcoal-colored Nissan Armada driven by a woman. Call the number at the bottom of your screen with any information. Charges against Kauai Police Chief Todd Raybuck have been dropped. It's part of a settlement in a job discrimination lawsuit in which Raybuck was accused of mocking people of Asian descent. Honolulu Civil Beat reports the case was dismissed with prejudice, meaning the charges against Raybuck cannot be brought back to court. The settlement requires the accusing officer, Kauai Police Captain Paul Applegate, to retire June 1st. He will receive $350,000 as part of a compensation deal. In Baltimore, crews are working on clearing a third channel that would allow vessels to move around wreckage from the Francis Scott Key Bridge. This passageway is expected to be deeper than the 2 that have already been opened in the Port of Baltimore. Some vessels can use these channels, but more bridge debris needs to be cleared for most commercial ships to be able to navigate the water. There are more concerns about avian flu. Cal Maine, the nation's largest egg producer, shut down production and culled more than 1.5 million chickens after a major bird flu outbreak at its Palmer Country, Texas plant. The number represents less than 4% of the company's flock and less than 1% of chickens in the U.S. This comes as 6 states are reporting outbreaks of avian flu among dairy cows. This week, a Texas dairy worker had pink eye after testing positive for the virus, becoming only the 2nd known human case in the U.S. Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller says there's no reason for people to be alarmed. You can't get the bird flu from eating thoroughly cooked poultry or eggs, according to the USDA, who also advises people to wash their hands after handling raw meat and eggs. The search is on to find relatives of Native Hawaiians who died on the waitlist for land from the Hawaiian Homeland Trust. Ben Gutierrez has more on the effort to dole out funds from a $328 million settlement.
As of last week, the state had paid out $187 million to more than 1,300 living plaintiffs who won the money in the case Kalima et al. Versus the state of Hawaii. But there's still another $98 million waiting for the heirs of those who died.
My sisters and I live on the mainland and just received these letters the other day. This is the first we've heard of the lawsuit.
Emily Kawashima is a probate special master reading a comment from a potential heir of someone who died while on the Hawaiian Homeland's wait list. The Sovereign Council of Hawaiian Homestead Associations says there are 28,700 Native Hawaiians on the wait list for a residential lot, a farm, or both. Those who have died were among those who filed claims over things like lost applications, mismanagement, and corrupt use of homelands over several decades.
The applications that the claims are based on date back to as far as the late 1940s. So a lot of these folks were kupuna before they even got to the claims office.
And many of the children, and in many cases grandchildren, were unaware of the claims.
Our challenge right now is trying to connect with potential heirs of the 1,200 plus deceased class members, most of whom died without wills.
The claims administrator has been attempting to find relatives of deceased class members and sent out a letter to relatives that they discovered. So this very well may be your first notice of the case.
Probate Judge Jeanette Castagnetti is overseeing distribution of the settlements. She heard the first 22 probate settlement recommendations on March 15th, with heirs expressing gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you, too. It's my hope that you find some justice in receiving the distributions that your deceased family members never received.
But Verity says there are still 428 deceased beneficiaries without information forms.
That's a form that allows us to reach out to heirs, identify potential children, grandchildren, spouses, and the like.
And without that information, Verity fears those potential heirs will lose out. Out has been about $113,000, but it depends on when the beneficiaries applied. If you want more information or want to contact the claims administrator, we have a phone number and an email on our website. Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
Honolulu Mayor Rick Blangiardi continues his town hall meetings tonight. He and other city officials will look to answer questions from residents in Salt Lake. Tonight's event is at the Salt Lake District Park Gymnasium and starts at 6:30 p.m. We have a full list of the upcoming town halls on our website, hawaiinewsnow.com.
Housing on this Thursday, the wind advisory has been extended until 6 p.m. tonight. These light shaded areas could get wind gusts over 50 miles an hour through today. Now, there is a chance that the wind advisory gets extended through tomorrow as well, so heads up. We'll keep you posted on that. You can see the winds very gusty already this morning. That means even though we do have some wind and multiple showers, whenever rain comes in, we'll be moving out pretty quickly. And notice there's still that stormy disturbance, but it's pulling away. We're not going to see any effects from it, maybe some high clouds, but other than that, we're not going to see much in the way of rainfall. So we do have some wind and multiple showers this morning, mainly focused over in Maui County. Rainfall totals will be light, however, because the rain's moving so quickly because of the breezy winds. So again, a little bit of a damp start to some windward neighborhoods, drier by lunchtime, if not sooner than that. Most leeward areas won't get much more than a minor splash or two. High temperature today running to about 82 degrees. And because of the winds, we have an elevated wind swell over the east shore where a high surf advisory is posted. The north swell is on the way down, but that's probably offering the best surf because the east side surf is pretty washed out and messy and rough. So our first alert for today and those windy conditions, again, there's not going to be a lot of rain, but don't rule out a few passing showers. Similar conditions as we head into the weekend. The winds will be slightly slower, at least that's what we expect, but they're still running at breezy levels all the way through Sunday, and they'll be very light on Tuesday, actually.
Thank you, Guy. All right, we're taking a live look outside at Hilo on the Big Island. You can see some raindrops there on the camera, as well as some gray clouds. Temperature there, 71 degrees. It's the first night of competition for the Merry Monarch Festival. We're going to have a live report from Hilo coming up after this quick break.
Song